Yes, sir. All right. We all ready? Everybody, you ready? Okay. It's 6 o'clock. I'll call this meeting to order. Need a motion to approve the agenda?
I so move. Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Okay. Let's say pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Should we go click got it on that one? Just so it takes that deal down. I don't know. I'll take that down. Will that be done? Okay, there it's working. Okay. Well, first up, we have public comment. Anybody have public comment?
Hope mine's not too long. Cindy Van Fossen. I encourage everyone here and anyone who's viewing virtually and anyone who will ultimately view the video to read and or listen to KMA's Meet the Candidates interviews for the June 4th primary election. Although the Page County candidates have not been released yet, the interviews so far provide interesting observations. For the past year and a half, the conservative supervisors in our county have been referred to as crazy, not progressive, anti-business, an embarrassment to the county, and I'm sure even worse behind closed doors. I believe the interviews on KMA are proof that the shaming and talking down to our conservative supervisors is unwarranted. Their bravery in standing up for what they know is right has inspired neighboring county leaders to do the same. Specifically, in Mills County, a young challenger with experience working at the state legislature is proposing greater transparency in his county by live streaming and recording the meetings, something our supervisors worked hard for and got done. In addition, he would like to see the meetings moved from mornings to the evening at least 1 week a month to encourage greater community participation, something else our supervisors have gotten done. A few candidates have spoken about their wind, solar, and possible carbon ordinances. In fact, an incumbent candidate stated he believed 80 to 85% of the residents at Montgomery County were against wind turbines. Our two conservative supervisors have been shamed for wanting to protect non-participating landowners. And although they are continually chastised, they keep looking for ways they can save taxpayer money. A few examples are the window project, examining road grader bids with a fine-tooth comb, and requesting payment of the boilers be made with funds already allocated to that purpose to allow the ARPA funds to be used in other areas or projects. Younger people who are stepping up to lead may not cowardly comply with yesterday's establishment. We should be willing to include them, be encouraged by their enthusiasm, and listen to their fresh ideas. They have many new solutions I think we can use. We can no longer do things the way they've been done for the past 30 years or more and keep saying that we need to do it that way. And I'm just going to end with one thing I have recently found that said, the wisest person is not the one who thinks they know more than everyone in the room. The wisest person is the one who wants to learn something from each person in the room. Thank you.
Good. Anybody else?
Good evening, Sherry Hunter down by Blanchard. I just have a few things that I would like to mention. First off, we've had a lot of rain. And the gravel on 290th Street that is west of our house is amazing. Amazing. Huge difference. So I don't know if that's the better rock we're getting, but it was applied months ago, and it's still there. And my minivan hasn't had any trouble getting up these hills. So I really appreciate the effort that you guys have brought forward to get better rock. I never really realized there was different grades of rock. So thank you so much. It's made my heart so much healthier. The other thing, do you want us to talk about ordinance? Do I need to wait till you talk about that?
Yeah, I know you can say it now, whatever you want to do.
Okay, I'll go ahead and just talk a little bit about what I wanted to say about the ordinance on the setbacks primarily. It's been discussed and talked about, like Todd, you'd said, if you have cares, then come to the meeting. So that's why I'm here. Otherwise, I would be at home resting. I do think that whatever you decide the setbacks are, they should be the same as a park. If a park needs half a mile, then so do we. When you go to the park, you're not there 24/7. You're there for a few hours. For respite and rest, well, you do the same thing at your home. And I know that makes some people upset, but if there's a reason why it should be away from a park, then it should be away from a resident as well. Obviously, we can waive those setbacks, make the resident that's living there on a small acreage part of the project, make them, and they can get restitution that way as well. It's good for everybody, it's fair. The other thing, 300 feet seems like a lot, but the fencing, we went Highway 34, there's a nice little solar farm that's there. It looks great from the highway. We went up and walked up to it. And I was like, oh, these feel so big when you're close. And when you think, football field, that's 300 feet, right? That's not very far for it to be high. They require, 8-foot fencing plus barbed wire at the top. Like it looks like a prison fence. I want everybody to understand. And what if it was across the road surrounding your whole entire property? I mean, that could happen. Ordinances are not for great companies. Ordinances are not for fair neighbors. They're for people trying to take advantage. I don't think every energy company is going to take advantage, but I think some could. And that's what an ordinance for. It's not for just this project they're trying to do now. It's for every future project. And if you get all the dots and tittles right, then we won't have anything to worry about. And we can trust that the citizens of this county can get a fair shake. So that's my 2 cents. I want you guys to go stand by the fences and see if you would want a football field away from your home. It's an eyesore. It looks fine on the highway, not with any houses by, but it's just like, if you're gonna live there, it's going to change your environment. So those that are close should get some restitution. And what's the harm in that? None at all. And you consider the resale value of your home. It will change, it really will. And some people, it will not bother, and great. And you think, gosh, that's gonna keep someone from getting to be able to put solar or a wind farm or whatever, it's gonna keep them. Well, so does radio towers. So does land. So does, if the lines aren't by your farm, you don't get anything. So it's not just the residents that live there that are gonna inhibit. There's many factors. And I'm really tired of people telling me to just move. It's just not fair. People can buy farmland at other places too. I think it's just like, let's just put our feet in everybody's shoes and we can work out a deal, that's fair for everybody. I appreciate you listening to me. And then I have one more just question about the minutes. I know you guys hate talking about this, but are public comments included in the minutes?
Right now, with the auditors including them, public comments are in the minutes. We amend are not in there, public comment. Is not in the
Right,
minutes.
but they are in the minutes that the auditor is doing.
Yeah, the draft minutes.
Okay, so,
Some of them.
well, that's what I noticed. So
They're not
Drake
all.
discussed last week about the minutes. Is that discussion in the minutes for this week?
No,
No, it's
it says
very
that
vague.
Drake Riddle gave public comment about the official board minutes, book. And that is it. Now, if you watch the video, there was a lot more said than that. And we'll probably get into that a little bit later, but, you know, that just proves our point of there's been things that are put in the minutes that reflect favorably on some and negatively on others. And if it was the other way around, and maybe me and Jacob are the issue, somebody come and talk to us, that full-length conversation would be in there.
Or part of it, part of the full length, one side, yeah.
So I think that's where we're trying to balance it out and say, yeah, we can have, I mean, and I have always been said, I don't mind saying, you know, Drake came and gave public comment. It doesn't have to, you know, you could even say what it's about. If you want to say it's Drake gave public comment about the minutes. And, you know, say Sherry came and talked about the roads. I don't have any problem with that being in there. It's where we only get half the conversation, then it becomes a problem because they skew, they don't get everything that's said.
It
And-
could
and-
be
and when-
manipulated.
And when you can't get everything, because nobody can type every single word. So that's, you know, that's where it becomes really a clutter, and it's not really, you know, fair to the person talking, addressing the board versus maybe somebody that's reading it only getting half the answer.
Well, I would be very interested, I guess, to read all the minutes and just see if the auditor is challenged in the minutes, is that public comment not ever in there? And that would be something that we could easily research that, right, as public record?
Yeah, there's, all the minutes are public record.
Okay,
Yeah.
thanks, guys.
Thank you. Anything else?
Good evening. I'm Shirley Long, and I just wondered what they've decided about the North Road by. Do we have a moment? And who is it? Has he started?
No, it's going on.
So what do we do in the meantime? Somebody taking care of it? The other thing I was gonna say was about the wind thing up at Crest or Corning. Have they looked into the ordinance parts that they have?
I was
I didn't
thinking,
hear what you said.
yeah, about the wind, so the tornado that took down a lot
No,
of the.
I'm not.
Oh, you're not
Nothing
talking about
the
that?
tornado.
Oh,
Just-
okay.
Just the wind turbines, or not the wind turbines, the solar panels.
Solar panels?
Yeah. Has anybody looked into what kind of ordinances they have around that for Corning, or what their ordinances are there themselves?
Yeah, I have not looked at Adams County.
Okay.
So, the ones I've looked at are Fremont Mills, Potawatomi, and then Madison.
Does Fremont have
So-
any?
Yes, Fremont
Yes.
has.
They passed one.
Fremont Mills, Montgomery all have.
All have solar.
I reached out,
farms.
I had reached out to Union and Adair, but of course, with everything that's happening, they've lost internet and
Yeah.
everything. So I haven't heard back from them. Adams, I did look and I can't remember what it was.
So
I'll
that's,
look
I was
again.
just kind of concerned, kind of wondering about the
Yeah.
ordinances that they had, being that they were kind of in the country, but across from the industrial park.
Right.
So that was all. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Shirley. Anybody else?
I got something, if nobody else does.
Yeah.
So did a lot of thinking about what took place last week during our board meeting. I was a little upset after the board meeting, and then went back, rewatched the video when it was posted. Was more upset. So I would just like to take a minute just to maybe remind people that are listening, the media, KCSI, KMA, they all play a part in this. And so I looked up just majority rule. So majority rule is the principle that a group which has more than half of all the votes should be allowed to make the decisions for a group. Majority rule is the binary decision rule most often used in decision-making bodies, including many legislatures and democratic nations. Now that fits most everybody, but it does not fit in Page County. That is not what happens in Page County. We sit up here, we make decisions based off majority. A lot of times it's a 2-to-1 vote, but the one vote decides that they can change and do what they want with the auditor's office. So it becomes a 2-to-2, basically, running things in Page County. This has gone on for 1.5 years since I've been on the board. You know, and when I got on the board, I did not realize county government would run this way. I was misguided in my thoughts of how things should be. Next year, the board will change. I'm sure Jacob's not gonna be here. I'm sure whoever is in this middle seat will have maybe a different opinion, and there's chances that I will be voting as one person. I don't get to change the rules. I understand that's the result of elections. I may not like it, but I can't do anything about it. I can't do what I want with the minutes. I can't do, sign things that I'm not a board officer as a chairman or vice chair. So there's a lot of things that are going on, and they've been enabled, propped up by the media, who allows it to be a discussion point and to basically misguide and skew, I guess, what is happening. They each listen in on this. They're on Zoom. They're listening to these meetings. They know what's going on, but they refuse to tell that side of the story. And I hope the people in Page County will wake up, realize that it's kind of a sham. We don't have majority rule in Page County, and that's really sad for the citizens of Page County, the people that voted in the elections. I think that's just a terrible thing, and hopefully someday things will change.
Yeah, that's right. There is many things that are not being done right. One of them's the minutes. It's wrong. Different than it's done in any county ever in the state of Iowa for the last 150 years. Unbelievable. So we've talked at length about it. So, next, if anybody else has a public comment, we're up to JD. Go ahead, JD.
Good evening, J.D. King, Page County Engineer. The minutes and other documents, or the engineer update and other documents went out Tuesday in the morning. So that reflects things till then. We're doing weather-dependent operations, burning brush on Monday with the wet. We're hauling rock with 3 trucks. Spray pressure was idle. We're mowing, we've been mowing up to the cemeteries, even placing some rock at various, as requested by the cemetery committees. And of course, this is ahead of the Memorial Day holiday next Monday. We sent 8 blade operators to training in Atlantic Motor Grader Operator School. Our 5 crew's been working south of Coyne, except it's too wet. We are changing to our summer hour schedule the week after Memorial Day, starting the 3rd. Go to 410s, Monday to Thursday. I saw the spray rig this morning at 7:15, head out spraying some known historical thistle spots. Yeah. And he's spraying weeds and bridge approaches. Worked on 31 water pump. Number 7 was in for a service. And our newer truck tractor. The trucks that were still in Omaha on Tuesday came back Wednesday. We poured the concrete at the bridge yesterday, so all the concrete is done. They're cleaning up, stripping the bridge, and we'll do dirt work when it's fit. And, we need it to not rain for several days to have the dirt sufficient to move for that. We're working on project paperwork at the office. We'll come back to the budget item, or the agenda item with the budget. Working on developing the project with guardrail on day 64, and I have a couple meetings next week, Wednesday and Friday, with the RPA meeting on Friday and a concrete paving meeting on Wednesday. Questions about the update?
I've got a question. He's out spraying. We've talked about this before, but not recently. If he could go on the dirt roads and try some dirt roads, we've talked about this, where the grass takes over the dirt road. Now we have somebody
Right.
with a pickup with a sprayer, put some kind of a boom on the back like I have on my mule. And try to, when that grass gets up a little bit, go out and just make a pass down there and kill that grass, so we don't have to plow the roads to get rid of the grass here in a month and make those great big balls. I'd like to try that somewhere.
Okay, yep,
If he's
I
got,
remember that
I think that's
discussion.
something to try. If that works, it wouldn't be very hard to spray those dirt roads. Try it, try some test roads or something.
You can now turn your attention to the budget amendment. Probably it'd be easiest to the colored single sheet that was furnished last week. This is the same one. There's 5 reductions in line items and 2 additions, so we just go from top to the bottom. The admin, and these numbers were arrived on based on the end of April numbers that come from the auditor. So it reduced admin category by 20,000, reduced the engineering category by 80,000, reduced construction by 75,000, reduced bridges and culverts by 40,000, increased roads by 300,000, decreased snow and ice by 70,000, increased. There's a couple that are still remain the same, traffic and road clearing. The new equipment remains the same. Equipment operations increased by 200,000, and the other line items are the same. So we pulled $285,000 out of current lines and put them toward the increases in roads and equipment operation. So this impacts the carryover balance by 215,000. And we talked about the increase in the carryover balance last week from what was estimated to what actually occurred. So this is the DOT budget only. The county budget will be handled when the auditor does her part, but this has to be done in May. So I'd appreciate adoption of the secondary road budget amendment 1 for 2024.
Have a motion on that?
I'll make a motion that we adopt the budget amendment for fiscal 2024.
I'll second it.
There you go, motion and a second. Any questions on that? We'll vote then. Oh,
Yes.
Yes.
yeah. Okay. Sign on here. What's that?
Just one more paper.
I saw that.
Talk about it.
Okay. Okay. All right, we got that done. All done. Next up is a depository resolution. It's sent to us, email from the treasurer.
This had to be done because on the other depository, it listed Great Western, and Great Western is no more. It's First Interstate.
Oh,
So
changed it.
it was pointed out to me, and I pointed it out to Angie, and she said she didn't even think about it, which I wouldn't have either, so. Anyway, I would move that we adopt this resolution 3224, naming of depositories.
I'll second.
Okay, got a motion second, any discussion? Not, we'll vote. Yeah,
Yes.
Yes.
yes, okay. Good time. Okay, got that done. Next up, we have the request for fiscal sponsorship of Page County Board of Conservation Clarendon Foundation Program. Somebody here talk about that?
Did she send anything on that? Yeah, okay. Oh, Randy McNutt, here's, you can read it. The chair of the Conservation Board.
It's purpose of grant writing.
Randy's wanting to submit a grant to the Clarinda Foundation for some work to be done, and it has to be in by June 1.
And we have to
And we
sponsor.
have to have a fiscal, the board has to be the fiscal.
Okay. You see this
Whatever.
one?
Yeah, I read it.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
So, yep.
I would
Yeah,
move
sure.
that I would move that the board approve being the fiscal
Sponsor.
sponsor of a grant to the Clarinda Foundation by the Conservation Board.
Okay,
I'll second.
and a second. Understand what's going on, so. Vote?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so we sign this paper. Do we all sign it? What do we sign it? Did he say what they're wanting,
He
grants
was,
they're reaching out for?
when he talked to me, it was about, there's a bunch of trees at Nottoway Valley Park that are dead, that are a liability, that need to come down. So I think that's maybe what they were gonna use it for, part of it. I'm not sure what else.
Not sure which part to sign here.
I'm not sure you have to sign
Okay.
any, I'm not, oh, maybe
Okay,
you
we'll
do.
wait and then put X.
Maybe you do.
I needed to sign it. Okay. That done.
They had a special meeting tonight, so that's
Oh.
why nobody's here.
Okay. Got that taken care of. Number 8 there, the Veterans Affairs Board's all here. Commission, come on up.
Well, I'm Ron Gibson with the Veterans Affairs Commission. And as you probably already know, Janet Olson is retiring, I believe, the first part of July. And we have an employee who is fully certified, fully trained, and we can just have her step into the VSO or administrator position. Yeah. The only reason we wanted to come tonight is the little excerpt I gave you, the last paragraph on there, says that VSO can be a veteran or a civilian. Now, that's one of the reasons that Mr. Riley was let go, is because he wasn't a veteran. And we need to kind of clear that up. Now, even the state of Iowa, the state code says that it does not have to be a veteran. It can be the most qualified applicant or person that we select to be the administrator. And I think that's one way of getting around the problem of VSO is to select her as an administrator. So that,
To change the title.
yeah. Yeah, that'll solve some of the other problems that could occur with that. The other two parts we'll bring up when they have budget hearings,
Okay.
because we're not worried about the compensation tonight. We just want to make sure that the supervisors are on board with us to let Denise, let Janet retire and then have Denise step in as the administrator down, because she is she's more qualified than Janet was as far as certifications.
Are you gonna take applications for the job?
No.
No applications, okay.
So we don't have to do applications according to the state. And so that way we can just hire the most qualified person. And I don't know of anybody that's gonna be as qualified as Denise is. She's fully certified, has all the possible training. So I think if that'll work with the supervisors, I think that's what we've decided to do.
Okay. What is the time frame of all this, how this happens?
Well, I think Janet is retiring in the end of July. And then she wanted a 30-day overlap to help train whoever Denise hires as an assistant. I personally think that's a good idea so that we've got everybody up to date on what's going on in the office. But we kind of need authorization to do that too, because it would just mean she would be hired or carrying on as at the salary she's at now. But we wouldn't have to change anything until the actual retirement,
Yeah,
so.
Ron, I trust you, but I would rather run this by the county attorney, if we could agree on that, just for a clarification.
I can talk to him, yes.
Yeah,
okay, talk to him and,
Yeah,
Yeah, I think if
personally,
he says this is,
I don't see any problem with
Yeah.
it, but we just wanted to make sure that it was all, okay with you guys to do this and not have any problems,
yep,
so.
yeah, as long as it's all, looks like it's simple, looks pretty
Yep.
simple. And thank you guys all for coming in tonight too, to be here.
Yeah,
And all the time you put in.
yeah.
So, and Denise and Janet, and all the time
Yeah.
they put in, so.
Okay, well, I'll talk to the county attorney
Yeah.
and then we'll go from there.
all right,
Okay,
thank you,
that
Ron.
sounds good.
Thank you.
Okay. Next, there at 9, yesterday had what do you call it? Can't think, it's not Zoom, but whatever they call their Teams meeting.
Teams meeting.
And I don't know if you guys joined that, I wasn't able to do it yesterday
did.
morning. You did?
for the whole 3 hours,
Yeah.
The whole 3 hours?
the whole 3 hours I
I
was
just
there.
threw
Yeah.
this on there because I emailed them, I knew about it about 24 hours, but I had stuff I had
I
commitments
went
to.
through all
couldn't
the
go.
drawings.
I looked at the
And that
drawings.
was really interesting,
Yeah, it's very detailed.
so, yeah.
So I just put this on there in case there's anything we need to know or talk about. I just throw it on there just for that.
Tony's here, so.
Okay. Anything interesting happening, Tony?
There wasn't a lot of changes. This meeting was scheduled as a 95% review. So we reviewed a few things. There were some few minor changes, moved a couple things around. But we're still on schedule for the full plans to go in the next, I think it's the 11th is the date. We'll go to Samuel's group to draw up the bid specifications and the construction documents. And then still set for a pre-bid meeting in this room here on the 26th of June at 10 o'clock. And then bid letting is still scheduled for July 11th at this meeting.
Okay. 26th June, all right.
And that 26th of June will be a meeting for potential bidders to come in and clarify any questions they have.
Work it out.
Before they have to submit their bids.
Right,
On that June 11th, or July 11th date.
okay. Okay, anything else to add to any of that?
No, I thought it was really impressive,
Yeah, there's a lot of detail on
really
there.
We went through.
thought of everything.
There was 119 pages worth of
Yeah.
drawings and schematics that we went through yesterday.
Crazy.
so-
That was a lot of pages, yeah.
Yep.
Okay, well, thank you for coming in and
Thank
doing
you.
it.
Thanks.
Okay, 10, the solar ordinance. We talked about fees last week and things like that, and I see these fees for Montgomery County, you printed off. They look similar to 3 months maybe, or are they very similar? I didn't compare them yet, but these ones you brought,
I'm not,
it looks similar,
yeah,
I
I
don't
think,
know.
okay, well, anyway, it could be. And I asked for some other ones, but, as I said,
Yeah,
they didn't get back to me, so,
they're busy.
anyway, yes. And I wanted to show you something too. I thought it was interesting, KMA had, an article the other day, I don't know whether you saw it, about the surge in solar installations eases energy costs for Missourians.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I did see that.
and as I said, when I went down on a bus to Kansas City, there were solar projects everywhere. The other thing was, I had a call this week from a citizen here in Clarinda who had been to Des Moines last week and said, if you can get on Google Maps, go in and look at 18th and Martin Luther King Parkway in Des Moines. There is a huge full block of solar. And so my printer was having trouble, but this is the solar project. You see the solar right there.
Oh.
It's a city block. The other thing was, this person had also been to Pella, and I went on Pella to look about solar projects, and the interesting thing that I found there is in the city of Pella that there are 10 city buildings being powered by solar. And there's also solar at the library, and you can park under it. So it's very interesting. But what I found about one of the things in Pella, one of the solar projects was there is a park, or there's a trail running right around it. So it's nothing.
Like on the
that's
outside of the
unsafe.
fence?
No, there's no fence.
Oh, there's no fence?
There's no fence. It's running right along it. So, and I don't believe there's any fence around this one in Des Moines either. So, just so you know that. Some of these places that the cities are taking advantage of these things and not doing a half-mile setback.
Great, anything else? On that one, we're looking at fees, it is the same as Fremont County.
Is it the same? Okay.
No, I just flipped over to that. Mill's a little different, I think. Yeah, go ahead.
I just wanted to make a comment about what Judy, what you just said, like cities are taking advantage of this, not doing a half-mile setback. Is there a difference between a city and rural living?
I wouldn't say there is as far as
Sound-wise
the danger or whatever to the people. If you have a walking trail right around a solar project, and you're walking up to a solar project and don't like the way it
Oh,
looks.
I didn't say I wouldn't walk around a solar, I'm
No,
just
but
saying.
when you went up, you said it was pretty impressive but you wouldn't want it to be by you.
A solar farm is, or a solar whatever complex, I don't know what they're called, but it looks very much like the city. It doesn't look like grass, cornfields.
Is that
cows.
all that we do? I mean, we've got silos out there. and
No, but when
everything
I
else.
bought my property, that's what I had. That's part of the reason why you choose a property is you like the environment. And it's not, like, maybe people would like to, but if you're gonna change the environment someone lives at, you know, and you can get upset with me. I am a resident of Page County,
I
and I
know
do
you
have
are.
opinion.
But anybody can buy a house anywhere and things can change around you. I mean, your neighbor can do anything they want to do.
In Page County, if something industrial's built in the rural part of the county,
I'm
they
not
have,
talking necessarily industrial. I'm
Well, there's-
talking about they can come right in next to your property and put big silos or whatever you want to call them up
anything
next to
that's
you.
agri-
And you're not going to like the looks of
There's
those
rules,
either.
right, though, for it?
well,
Well, they're
agriculture
not gonna
is
put them
exempt
all the way
because,
around my house.
but when you move to the
Well, solar
country,
projects aren't all around your house either.
it could be, you acknowledge that it's agriculture, that's the way things are, so you accept that, and there's no
Right.
zoning against agriculture, and there shouldn't be.
Right.
But when you go to something industrial that's 500-600 foot tall, or 1,000 acres or something 20 foot tall, reflecting, it changes. That's not a normal thing in Page County. That's not been here since it started. So anyway, agriculture is exempt. If it's not, they have to go to the Board of Adjustment right now anyway. That's already in place, been in place for a long time. So
Yeah.
They would
And
have to go get a permit.
Have you done any research about temperature change
I have
of a
not.
solar
No.
and the size and
I've-
how it changes the temperature?
Yeah, I did, on the efficiency of it, it changes after, I believe I read, it loses 1% of efficiency after 87 degrees Fahrenheit. So if the outside temperature is above 87, which a lot of the summer is, it loses 1% efficiency for every degree over that.
Yeah.
So, and now the efficiency can be determined on the size, and there's a lot of other scale factors that go into that that I was reading about, but they're not as efficient as some might think due to, the wintertime, they're not, very reliable. I mean, there's cloudy, they're not really producing a lot. And then
Right.
once it
And-
gets really hot in the summertime,
And no
which-
offense, I could care less
Yeah.
how much energy they produce. That doesn't bother me. I don't care whether it even works or whether it even financially makes sense. I don't care anything about that. I mean, like, the research that they've done when they've set them up and that it raises the temperature just like a city, like, around 7 degrees. Depending on how large the farm is and depending on how close you are, it will raise the temperature of that environment. And has anybody read anything about that?
I have not,
No.
but
Okay, they did a lot of studies in the desert, because when this first came about, they thought it would actually cool the desert down. And they have decided it's just like putting in an asphalt parking lot, as you can imagine. It draws in the heat, makes it a lot warmer. Another reason for a good setback. And I'm just tired of the snarky comments about, like, I'm just stating my opinion and you can state yours, but city is different than rural. It just is. I chose not to live in the city because I love the landscape. And I specifically chose Page County because I love the landscape. And so it is what it is.
But Sherry, I got a question for you. When you were
Yes.
talking a little while ago, you talked about the neighbors should get restitution. You should be paid if a project is put close to you.
Well, no, if my environment changes, it's a plus. More people wouldn't mind if if they have restitution. I'm just saying it might actually make people more excited about the project. And there's nothing wrong with saying, hey, in wind turbines, they do it too. A good neighbor agreement or whatever they call. And so people can actually say, yeah, we don't mind you getting close, and then they'll get a little bit, of whatever restitution, whatever the company thinks is fair. And there are a lot of things like that. And ordinances aren't for the companies you can trust, the farmers you can trust, but they're just to protect when there is, and hopefully that never happens, but we have had a company that did sloppy work and that was difficult. And hopefully that won't happen again. But I'm just saying, it's one of those things, I don't expect anybody that doesn't have it actually on their property to get rich, but there's nothing wrong with making an incentive to have people more apt to want this in the environment.
Yeah. They're gonna change your surrounding. I mean, if they're that close to you, so. Okay. Well,
So will a steel bin, they'll put 4 or 5 steel bins on each side of your house.
let's see, where's my agenda at? Well, any other issues on that?
just from what I looked at the fees, I didn't think those looked all that bad, I guess, as far as,
Which ones?
well, they're, I think the Montgomery one,
They're the same as Fremont,
as Fremont,
yeah. It's a good template to look at there.
yeah.
Commercial.
I gave my copy back to Jacob, so.
Oh, sorry. I have that.
I gave you all copies.
Did you give
Yeah.
him all copies?
Thank
So
you.
he's got
You
them
all
all.
have copies,
There
yeah.
you go.
Yeah.
I got 2 copies.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a good template to look at. I was trying to find.
And then
Yeah.
down here on the bottom, well, under, I guess, Mills County one, is where it's talking about the size of like 0 to 50 kilowatts, 300, and the bigger the project, the higher the fee. Is that correct?
It must be, but
Okay.
evidently Montgomery doesn't have a higher fee.
Yeah, I didn't-
Or Fremont.
Okay.
They just have a
A straight
$50 one or
$50
whatever.
utility.
Yeah.
Well, utilities for somebody at their house, I think, you see. The commercials on the next, oh, that's
It
Mills.
says solar power
Oh,
location.
I'm looking at Mills, I guess. That's what you printed,
Yeah.
that's why it matches.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's Mills, so then,
So,
that's different, yeah,
so commercial on Mills is much higher.
yeah.
So that's why it would be beneficial to get some from some of the other counties, but,
Yeah, this is a good place to start, I think.
all right.
Yep.
Okay, let's see, anything else? Working on that?
I mentioned something.
Yeah, go ahead.
While I was driving today, I came across a video because I put in Page County, and it was Page County, I think Virginia, because they were
Right.
talking about the Shenandoah Valley.
There is another, yeah.
And I watched an old video of theirs from October of 2020, and I thought, well, I'll just kind of watch theirs for a little bit, and they happen to be talking about their solar ordinance. And one of the things they mentioned was a wildlife corridor being put in their ordinance, because when you have acres and acres of solar panels, it could disrupt the movement of wildlife. I hadn't thought of that one. Another one was, and although Mid-American has said that they don't use a certain kind of solar panel that would be toxic, it would still be good to make sure that that is put in the ordinance, that those would not be
Yeah, I think
the
we were
toxic type.
gonna make that part of the ordinance so that we'd make sure, because like I said, Mid-American may not be the only one putting in solar, so.
And then the other question I have is, I know on the Mills County ordinance, they start out with talking about like private solar panels, like at your house, that are not connected to the
Right.
grid in any way. So because we're doing the commercial one, what would happen if some, or do we
We're
have
talking
people
both.
It's both.
It would be
Two
both.
sets of
It's
rules.
both.
It would be both,
We're
just
using
like
the Mills
theirs,
County as a
just like
base.
theirs.
Yes.
Yep.
So it would
Yes.
be both, so it
Yes.
would cover individuals that don't connect to the grid, and there would be other rules for.
Yes.
For
Yes.
commercial.
Yep.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. Well, anything else? Can do board communication, anything coming up?
We are going to have the canvas on June 11th at 9 o'clock in the morning. I think Melissa's already talked to Todd. And I would like to, and then we're also gonna do a budget amendment that day. And I would like to make that our regular meeting and not have one on Thursday night, since we're gonna be here anyway. And Todd will be leaving the next week, so it might be easier on him to get it done. And then also a possibility of a four-county meeting that same day, June 11th. It's our turn to have that. So would that work? That we could do that all on
What, at lunchtime or
Tuesday
something?
morning, June 11th, yeah.
I mean,
And then,
before county.
and then have the lunch meeting at noon. And then not have a meeting on the 13th. Would that be acceptable? Todd said it would work with
I-
him, right?
I
You
think
gonna be
that,
gone the 13th?
no, I'm gonna be gone the 19th, but
Yeah.
I think it'd be fine to wrap everything into one, so you don't have to come back Thursday
Right.
and take more off, but, especially if you're gonna do, if that's the four-county meeting time.
We're actually past due, but.
Okay, is that something that we send out invitation and
Yes.
see if, who can
Yes.
come, or?
Normally,
they-
they're quarterly, but everybody's gotten off schedule with COVID and all that, so
Right.
yeah.
Okay.
And it goes like in alphabetical order. So we were at Montgomery the last time, so it's our turn.
What if we,
So we would like maybe go to Jay's probably for lunch.
Okay,
on the 6th, can we canvass election on the 6th?
No, you can't.
Asking a question.
No.
It has to
No,
be the
we've
Tuesday
talked
following.
about this before, Jacob. It's the week after the election. It's the next week, the next Tuesday,
so, yeah,
that you have the canvas. That's set by code,
yep, so the election's on the 4th.
yes.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So that would mean, okay, there. All right. Anything else? We were good with that?
Can we,
So can we do that?
can we do that?
I think so.
Okay,
Okay.
so no meeting on the 13th. And then Todd, you're gonna be gone the 20th
The-
and the 27th,
The
right?
19th, yeah, 19th through the 27th.
Okay,
I should be able to Zoom on the meeting
yeah, but you said you'd be
Yep.
on the way home on the next
on
one.
the 20th, but I'll be in the air on the 27th.
Okay,
The 6th meeting's in the morning, on Thursday morning.
yes.
We could bounce it the evening.
What?
The first meeting of the month, we could
Right.
just move it, since we're doing the second one in the morning, we could bounce that.
Could,
Who's that? Is there somebody on for the 6th on the agenda? Cindy, do you know?
do you?
We could do-
Are you talking about for the,
For the regular first Thursday meeting.
yeah, and are you talking about the four-county meeting?
No, I'm just
The
saying
6th?
the first meeting of the month we do in the morning, on the 6th.
Right,
I'm just saying we bounce that the evening, since the next Tuesday we're gonna be in the morning, just to have
That's gonna
that.
be 2 days after the general, so I have a plan for, like, with my staff and stuff, and then we'll get a result overtime in my office, just, you know, they work at 20-hour day on Tuesday, Wednesday.
I think we need to keep it the first meeting of the month on the morning. Will that work?
That's what we're planning on.
Yeah,
Trying to keep it from being inaccessible for too long, we have nice, with our evening meetings, so,
it's not
I
gonna
don't-
hurt anything, Jacob, for one.
or anything either
One
way,
month.
really, so. I guess I don't care too much. We just need
well,
to be
I mean, the
consistent.
only thing I would say, then you're not, I see what you're saying, but then you impact two meetings, whereas the Tuesday one that we do on the 11th would just impact the one
One.
week, and,
I just wanna get back to consistent as
Right.
fast as we can.
yep.
Okay. Okay, we'll leave it like that, I guess. So 11th at 9, and we'll do the 4-county meeting, set that up.
And then the
at
6th
noon.
also at night.
So then the canvassing can just be part of our regular meeting, or does that have to be a special?
No, you have it, it's
Okay.
part of your meeting.
Okay.
Okay, so 6th, I see it, okay. Anything else on the schedule here? All right, did we have any bills? I didn't see any. No,
I don't think there's any claims.
I signed that resolution, I'm not sure what I did. Oh, there it is. Okay, it's right there. Okay, let's see, you got the minutes here. What's the other one? Let's see, copies I've got. Did I lose them all? You have any notes?
There, you can have that. That's yours.
Okay.
I guess the only thing I would say about the minutes, just briefly, is I know it's like beating a dead horse, but I don't quite understand. I wish somebody could explain it to me about why we put in the minutes. Holmes passed out his rewritten minutes from May 9th. And then the very next sentence, we put motion was seconded by, or motion made by Mayor, seconded by Holmes. The board moved to approve the amended minutes. So there we say amended, but we always have this sentence that says Holmes has put out or passed out his rewritten minutes, which is not, nothing has been rewritten. It's been amended, but I don't understand the terminology. And I don't know, I guess I'm confused on why we put that in there, because that's not being said. So we're writing it in there as conjuncture, as opinion, not fact, and it feels like that's part of our problem of trying to spin a narrative that we're rewriting minutes. And that is not the case.
No.
And the other thing is, since these minutes don't seem to matter, then I would make a motion that we don't approve any minutes and just forego because it doesn't really matter what we vote. Those minutes get turned in and signed and
I
done
think that,
without any of our consent.
that's wrong.
And the other thing is, you know, we always talk about, well, the more information we have in there, you know, if there's a lawsuit or something, then, you know, that'll save us or that'll help us. Well, if it's not approved and passed by a majority of the board, a court is not gonna recognize those minutes. They won't. It doesn't matter how many times you sign it, it's not gonna matter, because they're gonna look and say, okay, they voted 2-1, where are these minutes? That's what they're gonna go by. So I think we're doing ourselves an injustice by thinking that, you know, the minutes that we put in there are going to be the ones that would protect us in a lawsuit or something.
And I think we should keep doing it. I know it seems ridiculous until the truth comes out in this whole thing. But this is proper. We should approve, even if they're choosing to neglect the duty or whatever should be done, that'll come out in the end. So I would like to keep doing it. I know it seems ridiculous, but we need to keep doing it proper and right, like it's been done since the foundation of the Board of Supervisors in Iowa and in Page County and everywhere. So
The auditor's minutes are the official minutes.
they are not.
They are the official
They are
minutes
not.
because it's a check and
They are
balance.
They are
clerk
not.
to the
That's
board.
It
nonsense.
is a check and balance between the supervisors.
That's not true. And we had the director of the IPIB point directly answer that question, so it's whatever. The light will come into it, but I think we should, there'll be light shined on this, the truth will be known. I'm confident now, so, but we need to keep doing it proper and right like it's always been done. So the amending is taking out the conversation and just the things that are not official movements of the board, just conversation or discussion. That's what we're amending out of the minutes. And it's all on video for people to watch the conversation, then they can see both sides, and it isn't open to not being objective when you only include part of it. There was a big these minutes are the auditor's minutes that we amended, and when Drake gave his comment last week, saying that the official minutes book is being signed with minutes that are not board approved, and we never talked about it one time or proved that happening or anything. None of that's in here. None of that's in here. Somehow that wasn't important information.
You refused to go in the
I
office.
said I would not sign the amended minutes because they are not the minutes. I mean, I would not sign the non-amended minutes, not the past minutes.
So you're basically refusing to sign
I'm
the
waiting
minutes.
till it's fixed. It will be fixed and it'll be done right. I'm not signing minutes that aren't accurate. That would be criminal. I've not signed minutes that are wrong, that are not the board approved minutes. That's crazy. And it was done in the dark.
We're not gonna settle anything,
So-
so let's move on.
So anyway, that was all done in the dark, and it gets almost nothing in the minutes, but people like lots of information. That wasn't in here. It just says, give public comment about the minutes book. That's it. Not what happened with the book, not that this has never happened before in history, so. Yes, but so my point to that is fine. We're fine with public comment not being there. I'm making the point, these are your minutes, the auditor's office minutes, that like to include all that. We've said no, and are you ready to adhere to the board's requirements, the minutes? Are you saying that? I don't. The clerk,
To do the minutes, yes.
yeah, to write the minutes, that's fine. The board passes the minutes.
But I don't think it has the duty to amend the minutes, does it?
Yeah, you.
But anyway.
No, that's not so.
Anyway, let's
You were
move
told
on.
that,
I
so.
do have a question. So it's a checks and balance. You said it's a checks and balance of the Board of Supervisors?
Right.
Uh-huh.
Where, does the auditor have any checks and balances?
Well, yeah. where would
About
that
what?
come in? Yeah, about what she's doing right here. This is unbelievable.
Well, I'm like, if there's a discrepancy, like if a citizen has an issue, or if something's happened, like where are the checks and balances about that?
If there's a discrepancy in the minutes, those can be fixed, but when you're putting things down that people said or spoke about, that's not a discrepancy.
Some of the things,
Well, that's
and-
your opinion again, Jacob.
and your
Well,
opinion.
but
Can we
why
please not
wasn't
discuss this?
any of what Jake said, or Drake said, why was that not included?
Did you want all of that in there? We can go back and put it all in there. What?
I didn't say to put all of it in there, but I don't understand why things are summarized, but some things aren't.
It just proves the point. They're not
I don't
objective.
understand why I request information from the auditor and she can't by law give it to me, but yet she gives it to other citizens.
What hasn't she given you that you wanted? What?
Melissa, did I send you an email asking for information and you said you could not disclose that, but I could request it from the state? And then other citizens asked you, called you, and you told them? Well, then how did everybody know? But I was not allowed that information. I'm sorry, but they said that it helps to know the auditor.
I think that we had some staffing issues and that has been corrected.
See, I need checks and balances in the auditor's office, and I know you think I'm not being fair, but I asked politely, and I accepted your decision, and then it made me so upset that 2 people on the committee were able to get the information from you. They even knew the time and the day that something happened. And you told me you couldn't disclose that information. So by law, could you not disclose that information?
I have no idea how that, if you have a time, date, and specific information.
You can ask Elaine Armstrong and Brian Whipp. I need checks and balances, and I'm not being unfair. But I want people to understand this whole hornet's nest needs to stop.
It definitely does.
So where is my fairness? Was I not asking appropriately, or why did some things? At the time, they got the information before I did, they said. Brian said he came in here. Elaine said she called you. And well, then she must be a liar, or you are. There's checks and balances, and Melissa, I'm tired of it. I'm tired of you spinning things.
I did not have a conversation with Elaine Armstrong. I haven't seen her talk to Elaine in weeks or months.
Then why does she tell the whole central committee that you told her? And then Brian said it helps to know people.
Maybe somebody told Elaine that wasn't the auditor's office.
So somebody in the auditor's office is making mistakes or disclosing information they shouldn't?
And this isn't about the auditor's office, this is
Well-
about the minutes.
No, but
and
you
this
asked
is-
me, you asked me to disclose this information, and I hesitated, did I not?
And the checks and balances on the minutes is, the board has to vote to agree. Not one person can do it on their own. And the other checks and balances are, if they don't meet Iowa code, if we have something wrong, the auditor does not get called in front of the IPIB, it's the board. So how in the world are they responsible for the minutes when they're not the ones getting in trouble when the minutes are written incorrectly like they
The
were?
IPIB
a
thing
few
was
months
the
ago.
board responsibility that got called because you were doing the agenda at the time and you failed to put an agenda out there.
That is not so.
That-
It's because we
yes, it
did not.
is.
You go back and read it. It says we did not clearly define how each member voted.
But
My
it
goodness,
also-
but what?
it also
said that.
because there was
So our
not-
minutes, hold on, don't interrupt me. Our minutes were incorrect. They had to be fixed. The board had to go before the IPIB and had to make the corrections and say, we're gonna fix it, not the auditor. The board's minutes. This is silly. We've talked about it. There's no way in the world the clerk can write whatever they want in the minutes in any organization and have no oversight by the board. That's unbelievable. And it's crazy we've taken this serious this long. So
I
we're
will-
gonna get, the truth will come out. And when it does, and the light shines on this, everybody will see. So-
I will say one thing that I have said it over and over and over again. If you don't want it in the minutes, don't say it.
Okay,
So
so-
it's not being skewed, what's being put
Okay,
in there.
hang on, just a second.
stop.
Let me,
Let her
no,
finish,
let her finish, please.
Let Judy finish. Are you done, Judy?
No, I'm not.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm just tired of beating a dead horse, because you're not gonna let it go, and I'm
No,
not gonna let it
it's not
go,
right.
and so we might as well just move on.
Okay, so
This minute thing is ridiculous.
when you just said, if you don't want it
Criminal.
said, don't say it.
Right.
If you don't want it in the minutes.
Right,
There is nobody that said Holmes passed out his rewritten minutes
So
from May
how'd that get
9th.
in there? Oh, but
And that's how you're gonna do it? Because that's not being said.
Because that's actually what we do.
No, it's not what we do.
Yeah, it is.
How
Jacob
is-
passes out his minutes.
Jacob
Todd doesn't-
passes out amended minutes.
There's only lines through the extra information that's conversation or discussion. That's all there is.
We're not gonna settle it tonight. Can
So-
we please just move on and
But to
adjourn?
say that you don't want to say it, I have proved there's things that were not said in the minutes. So that doesn't even work. So this is baloney, and this is why minutes are voted on by a board and the majority rules.
We'll just
So-
say, you're right on everything, Jacob, and move on. How's that?
Okay, no, the board should have jurisdiction over their minutes, so they're proper, because they're the ones held responsible for it. Not the clerk, not anybody else. So they're out of their lane, so
Attorney General has not agree with that.
that's nonsense. We had that point blank answered in this room, so, and yes, we did. You asked that question, and they said that 82 thing doesn't even apply, it's been outdone, 92 comes in, she went through the whole thing, go back and watch it, I can bring it, we can watch the video next week if you want. You asked the questions were answered, this is unbelievable, the light will come to this, and I wouldn't want to be on the side that's going against the way things have been done forever, in every board, everywhere, in every set of minutes. That's what's happening right now. And it is a sham.
And I don't understand where a majority votes on something and then it doesn't matter.
Yeah, well, it's because
I've never seen that happen anywhere.
laws are for our law-abiding people. If you decide not to obey the law or not to obey the majority, then you have a mess.
Yeah.
So,
So it just blows my mind that we have a majority to vote on things and it doesn't happen. And Page County should be aware of that.
it's happening. It has been happening for a long time. So,
So I will make a motion that we approve the amended minutes
here, I can hand these out.
based off Public Information Board guidelines. Iowa Public Information Board guidelines.
Yeah,
Okay,
those are the
and
ones Jacob handed out, his minutes.
Yeah, with amendments. Everybody look there.
Amended.
Just say Jacob handed out his minutes.
Okay, we've got that done. Give a minute before we, I'll second that. We'll
I
have
have
discussion. Go ahead.
Excuse me. This question's for Melissa. Who gives the state auditor, or the county auditors the training to do the minutes?
Speak in the microphone, please. Don't have one.
Well, then maybe never mind, I'm not gonna say that. That'd be disrespectful.
You are disrespectful, and you were last week,
He can ask questions at the podium.
but it's totally unnecessary to be so disrespectful.
No, you do need to be, we need to be respectful.
Everybody does.
We have opinions, everybody is very passionate about this thing, this process. And I think there's sides to everything, but when we're talking, we do definitely need to be
Go
respectful.
in order, but you asked a question. Did you get an answer?
And it's the chair's job to make it respectful.
No, you asked a question. Did you get an answer?
No. No,
What's
I
the
did
answer?
not.
You refusing to answer his question? You asked a
I
question?
asked you, who gives the training?
Different trainings. You go to ISAC, they do different trainings, different individuals from ISAC. Christopher Herber has done different trainings. We have a training in the fall and spring regarding different, all sorts of different things that the auditor's office does, facilitated by all sorts of different individuals, lawyers, attorneys, sometimes other auditors that have been there for a really long time, that give us best practices. So throughout
Does the IPIB give any training?
Not, I don't just speak in the last several years, but not that I'm aware of the last several years.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Well, to that, we had them come to our meeting and give us what they thought should happen, so. Okay, any discussion on it? We'll vote. Go ahead and vote on the minutes. Are we ready?
Yep, oh, yes.
Yes.
No.
Okay. We voted to approve the amended minutes. All right.
I move we adjourn.
Got a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We're adjourned. Okay, I got this. Let's go over there. Here's this. I guess you got to sign
What's
that. That's the resolution.
I did.
Okay. I think that's the only paper I have. Oh, yeah, the recorder's right here. I did actually hit play this. No. Yeah.